Hello everyone, I'm Manal Baduraya from Canada Engineering College. Okay, so we were discussing on cracks, hashing files and their organization. So in today's topic, let us discuss about hashing. So in hashing, we have something called as static hashing. So that will be our topic for the day. Okay, so in this video, we'll be discussing about the static hashing. So before understanding static hashing, we need to know what is hashing in general. Okay, and what are the other types of hashing. So first we'll understand that, then we'll discuss static hashing in detail. Okay, so what is hashing? Hashing is a transformation of a string of characters. That means what? You have a continuous string of characters into a usually shorter fixed length value or key that represents the original string. So for example, in short, say I have a string of characters. Okay, so it may be A, B, C, D, anything. Okay, so say these are the string of characters which are continuous in nature. Okay, continuous in nature. So for this string of characters, what I am doing is nothing but I apply hash function. I apply hash function and I store these continuous characters into the fixed size array. Okay, fixed size array. For example, say this may have a address this way. Okay, so or the other way, any way we can take. So I can store it say like this: A, B, C, D. So these are nothing but buckets. These are nothing but buckets. So I store it in a fixed size array. So that is what is the basic concept under about hashing. So what is the use of hashing? So hashing is used to index and retrieve items in a database. Okay, so see, you can see that when it is stored, when the characters are stored in a bucket, which is very easy actually to retrieve them or to make use of it. Retrieve means to take them or to make use of them whenever we require it. Okay, yes. So that is the main advantage. Hashing is used to index and retrieve items in a database because it is faster to find item using the shorter hashed key than to find it using the original value. So this is the original value. Okay, so it's really difficult. Whereas in the buckets, it is really easy to find that particular character. So that is why we do hashing. So hashing enables us to perform the dictionary operations such as search, insert, delete in expected time. So this is the main advantages. So we can search a character or we can insert a character or we can delete a character. So we can do anything using hashing. So this is in general rough approach of hashing. So as we go forward in this slide, we will understand exactly what is hashing and the different types, and we will also understand what are those hash functions, and by using different types of hash functions what happens, and when we use hash functions what problem comes and how to resolve that problems. So everything we need to study. Okay, yes. So as I already told, we are discussing about the static hashing. So there are two types of hashing, so which is nothing but static hashing and dynamic hashing. So we will discuss everything about the static hashing in our video. Okay, static hashing, hash table. So what is hash table, students? So I have already shown you in the first slide that is nothing but we have a continuous characters. Okay, we have continuous characters, or it can be numbers also, anything it can be. Yeah, we apply some hash function. Okay, then we put it into a buckets. So what are these buckets? These are nothing but hash tables. Okay, so these are single tables, or these are what are these hash tables. Okay, so that is what they are telling. okay, or buckets. So in general, this whole thing is hash table, okay, and these are the buckets. Okay, so let us see what they have to say. In static hashing, the dictionary pairs are stored in a table HT. Okay, HT is an alias used for hash table. Okay, hash table is partitioned into B buckets. C. So hash table is a whole thing. Okay, hash table is a whole thing. That entire thing is a hash table, as I've already shown you. Okay, and the single space whatever is there inside this table is called as a bucket, and each bucket is capable of holding S dictionary pairs. Thus, bucket is said to consist of S slots, each slot being large enough to hold exactly one dictionary pair. One dictionary pair. So I told you it can store only one characters. Okay. Yes. Usually S is equal to 1, and each bucket can hold exactly one pair. So it can hold only one pair. So that is how it becomes easy, or that's the main advantage. Okay, when we use hashing. The address or location of a pair whose key is k is determined by hash function h. Okay, this hash function, what they're telling, that is hash function h, which maps keys into buckets. So what are these? These are list of keys. Okay, these are list of keys. So this list of keys, I need to put it into a bucket. Okay, different buckets, and those buckets are there in a hash table. Thus, for any key k, h of k is an integer in the range 0 to b minus 1. H of k is the hash address of k. Okay, so what are these? What are these things we have discussed? So we will understand using examples. Okay, that time the whole concept, whatever I am telling here, will be very clear to you. So before understanding the exactly what we need to understand, what is that hash function we are using. Okay, because hash function is the one which will map the continuous characters into the different buckets. Okay, or it will map into hash table. Okay, so we need to understand what are these hash functions and how we use it. So what is hash function? It maps key. Okay, so key means the continuous characters or numbers into bucket in the hash table. We have to design hash function such a way that number of collisions should be less. What is this collisions? Collisions means situation. It is a situation where two keys map into same address. Okay, same address in a or same bucket in a hash table. So this is once again a problem, okay, in a static hashing. So when this problem comes, what to do? Okay, we need to handle that also. Okay, so that is called as collision. So again, for collision we have some methods, okay, where we handle the collision. Okay, so but before understanding this collision and hashing in general, we need to understand what are the popular hash functions. There are many more hash functions, but in our syllabus we will discuss about the three hash functions, that is division method, mid square method, and the folding method. This division method is also called as modulo division method. Okay, modulo division method, modulo division method, or it is also called as division remainder method. Okay, it is also called as division remainder method. Okay, so that is about the division method. Also we have something mid square method, and we also have folding method. Okay, so what is this division method? Okay, yes, so here chooses the division method, it chooses number m. So m is a number larger than the number m of keys in k. Usually m is prime since it minimizes collision. So let us understand what is this m, n and m. So in the next slide, we have the example for the division method. They will exactly know what is this m, n we are speaking about. Okay, yes. So thus h of k. So this is the function. H of k is equal to k mod m. Okay. So this is how we put the function. H of k is equal to k mod m. And what is this k? This k is nothing but key. and m is nothing but a prime chosen chosen prime number. Okay, if we want address from 0 to m minus 1. Similarly, h of k is equal to k mod m plus 1. So this is one more formula if we want address from 1 to m. So we can use anything and we can proceed with the division method. So let us understand what is this exactly what we are speaking here with an example for the division method. Okay, so say we have n is equal to 10. That means what? We have 10 number of keys. We have 10. That keys can be anything. Okay, that keys can be anything. Okay, so you can take the key as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, 7, 8, 9, like that. Okay, then so these are basically continuous in nature. Okay, these are nothing continuous keys. Okay, continuous keys. Okay, then select m is equal to 11. So m is 11. This is a prime number. Okay, because 10 keys means you can take 11. Okay, so that is the prime number. So if you use prime number, there will be less. It will be easy to map. So less collisions. Okay, so we'll see that. Then if you want address from 0 to m minus 1, then we can use like this hash function. Okay, say you have see so you have h of 0 here. What is 0 here? This is nothing but key. First key. Okay, 0. Now you 0 you have to map here. Mod 11. Okay, 0 mod 11. Then where it what address will be the 0. So 0 mod 11. This is a hash function. So this is a hash function. So you have continuous keys here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, like that. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can be. Okay, so these are basically how many number? 10 are there. Space. Correct, no? So this is the hash table. Okay, this is a hash table. So it will have 10 digit, 10 places. N is equal to 10, no? So you can make it this way: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, yeah, we need more. So totally 10 spaces. N is equal to 10, no? So totally 10 spaces should be there. Just understand that how to store. Okay, so say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's that way. Okay, 7, you have spaces here like that. 10 spaces, 10 spaces to be there. So how do you do? So here 0 is there, first value where to store. Okay, first value, your key is only 0. You would write 0 mod 11. Okay, 0 mod 11, you get 0. So in 0 I store 0. That is how it is. Next you store 1. So when where you store, you would have 1. You store it here. Okay, say you have some other number. Okay, uh, 2, so you store 2 here, that way. Okay, so let me change the character here, so for those that you will better understand. So what I will do here is I will add some other numbers. Okay, so I have, so you understood how we store here in the buckets. Now what are these things? What are these? So this entire thing is a hash table. Okay, and what are these buckets? Okay, now what this is a, say if hash table, if I take this as ht, what is this particular space? It is nothing but ht of 1. So in ht of 1, what do I have? In ht of 1 I have 1 key. So now let me take some other key, say 14. Okay, so how do you find the hash function? So it is nothing but 14 mod 11. So 14 mod 11 is 11. Modding, what is mod do? Mod is nothing but it will find the remainder operation. It will do the remainder. Mod will find remainder. Mod will find remainder. So 11 is, it is 3, 12, 13, 14. Correct, no? 3 is the remainder. So you get 3. So this 14 can be stored in the 3. That is how it is. Okay, that is how it is. Say now I put one more number, say 12. Okay, 12. So this 12 is nothing but, so again I do 12 mod 11. So when I do 12 mod 11, it is nothing but 1. So 1, so 12, 1 is already stored here. So this case is called as collision. Okay, so here I cannot place 12. So collision. So for collision also we can solve collision. So that we'll understand in the when we are studying collision. Okay. So here this is how we use division method. That you need to know. That's all. Okay. Here in this for this slide we just need to know how we use division method. Okay, and how to store the numbers. So by doing that successfully, we have stored 0, 1, 2, 14, and yes, 12 we cannot store. Okay. So here we cannot store 12. Collision occurs. Okay, so when we try to store this, collision occurs. And what to do when collision occurs, that I will tell you in when we study about collision in the same video. You need to see the video till the end to understand how to solve this problem. Okay, and this all these 1 0 1 2 14 we have successfully we have inserted. Okay, for when we try to insert, well, collision had occurred, and this is a hash function. Okay, so using a hash function in this way is called as division method. Okay, yes. Next one. So next one is nothing but mid square method. Okay, so say I have a key 20. Okay, say key is 20. What I do is nothing but I do the square of key. Okay, so I get 400, and I remove the first and the last digits. Okay, I remove the first and the last digit. So what I did here, I remove the first and last digit. Last digit. Okay, so when I do that, I get the address. I get the address. I get the address. So here, say 20 was there, so I squared I did, I get 400. So I removed the first and the last digit, I got 0. So 0 is the address. And this in the 0th address, say if this is the hash table, so this is the hash table. In 0th address, I will store 20. Okay, I will store 20. Next, it is a key is say 480, very big key. So I do the square, I got 2,30,400. So here also I do the same method, because in mid square method, what you will do is nothing but you remove the, you square the number or key. Okay, and later on you remove the first and last digit. So I got the address here. So 3,000, this is the address. Okay, here 0 is the address. So here 3040 address. Say some dot just say this hash table is big. Say if this is the address 3040. Okay. So what are these? These things are nothing but address. Okay, and these are the keys. Yes, in 3040, what do I store? I store the number 480. Okay, I store the number 480. That is how your mid square method works. Next is nothing but folding method. Okay, in folding method, what you are doing is you can implement this folding method in things. Okay, I mean in two ways. What is nothing but, say if you have the number 3025. Now what is 3025? Here it is a key. Okay, so what I do is I separate the two digits of the key. Okay, and I add them. Okay, so what do I do is nothing but separate and add. Separate into two parts and add. So I got the address. So 37 is the address. So say if this is the hash table, say this is the hash table, say somewhere here it is a 37 is there, dot. Okay, so if 37 is here, okay, I store the number 3205, which is the key. Okay, so this is what the hash table. Okay, so in 37th location, okay, 37th bucket you can tell. Okay, so we can also tell 37th bucket. Okay, say in another way, second way is nothing but you have to save, you have to separate into two parts, you have to separate into two parts and reverse the second part. Okay, separate into two parts, reverse the second part, reverse the second part and add. Look at it. So that is what they got. So 3005 is the key here. So 32 you divided into 32 plus 0 5, yes, 0 5, you did you reversed the second part here, so 0 5 became 50. Okay, so then you are adding, so you got 82nd address, say dot dot dot, say if this is 82nd address, you get 3205 here. Okay, which is a key 82nd bucket. Okay, so that is how use or store or using folding method. Okay, so three methods. What are the three methods we stored? First we discussed about the division method. Okay, so what are these? Hash function. Next is nothing but we studied what was the second method. Third one was the folding method. Yes. Okay, what was the second one? It was the mid square method. It is a mid square method. And what are all these theory? These are nothing but the hash functions. Nothing but the hash functions. So this is about the hash functions. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now what is the overflow handling or collision resolution? What is this? So that in our example, first example, what we have seen, we tried to when we tried to insert 12, what happened? There was a collision. Okay. When we tried to insert 12, what happened? There was a collision. There was a collision. So how to handle it? Okay, collision means, what is collision? Two keys, two keys point to same value, to same address location in hash table. In hash table. Okay. So when that comes, we have two ways of handling it, which is nothing but one is called as linear probing, it's also called as closed hashing, or it is also called as open addressing. It's also called as open addressing. Next one is nothing but chaining, which is also called as open hashing. Okay, yes. So that is what they're telling. So how do you handle overflow? Okay, overflow is overflow of keys. Okay, yes. Suppose we want to add a new record R with key K to our file F, but suppose the memory location address H of key is already occupied. Okay, that this situation is called as collision. So there are two ways. Okay, so one is linear probing and next one is chaining. So first we will understand about the linear probing problem. Next we'll discuss about the chaining problem. Okay, so what is linear probing? So how do we handle linear probing? Okay, let us just read the theory for that. Suppose a new record R, okay, with key K. Okay, so even key K. So of course in a record we have a key. Okay, that's what they're telling. Is to be added to memory table T. Memory table is hash table. Okay, they are simply speaking about the hash table T. But that memory with h of k is equal to h is already filled. Okay, like that in the earlier part of the video we tried to insert 12 when we were understanding the division method. Okay, in the hash function, so we tried to insert 12, that 12 was already occupied with some number before number, some 2 number was there, no? So it was occupied. When we tried to put 12, we could not put because 2 was there. Okay, when such situation comes, that's called as collision. So one way of avoiding collision is to design R to first available location following T of H. So what they are telling is nothing but if 2 is filled, then you need to put into the next available number. The next available location is 3. So if 3 is empty, you need to put there. Okay. Say for example, if 3 is also filled, then you need to put in the 4. Okay. In fourth location, you need to put that 12. So that is how it goes. Okay. Yes, so that is called as linear probing probing. Okay, so we also have some advantages and disadvantages of this linear probing. One thing is advantages is nothing but all the numbers it stay within that array. Correct? No, array means that hash table. In the hash table only that all the values will be there. So that is advantages. Once again, there is a disadvantage also. The disadvantage is nothing but there is a clustering problem. Okay, what is a clustering problem? So some set of numbers in the hash table they will be together. Okay, so that is called as clustering. So that problem is there. Okay, that is a disadvantage of the linear probing. Okay, so it also has advantages and disadvantages. So what is the disadvantages? Advantages is nothing but all elements stay in the array. In the array, and disadvantages is nothing but clustering problem. Okay, disadvantages is nothing but we get the clustering problem. Okay, so these are the things. Now let us see how exactly we do the linear probing. So we assume that a table T with m locations is circular. So T of 1 comes after T of m. So this is important, students. That is nothing but it should be circular in nature. That is like if you have 0 to 9, after the ninth position, after you start filling from 0 to 9, after ninth position, again you have to go to 0th position and you have to fill. So that is how you do. If that is circular in nature. Okay, then only you can do this linear probing. So according to the procedure, we search the for record R in a table T by linearly searching locations. Linearly means one after another. Okay, say for example, first you search the 0th location, then you search first location, then you search second location, then you leave third location. Say dot dot dot, you go to ninth location, then again you come back to the 0th location. Okay, that is how you do. Say if ninth location 99 you need to put. Okay, some hash function you use and 99 it come is filled in 9. So next you need to fill 89. So you cannot fill here. So you need to come and come to 0 and you need to search in 0th location because it is circular in nature. Okay, and if 0 is empty, you need to put 89 there. So that is what they are telling. So according to the procedure, we search for record R in the table T by linearly searching locations T of h plus 1 till we meet an empty location. Till we meet an empty location. Okay. Yes. So whatever we have discussed here. Okay. So let us see with an example there. Okay, so we have a record here, a big record. Okay, so these are nothing but the continuous characters. Correct, no? Record A, B, C, D, E, X, Y, Z. We need to store it in a hash table. So what is this now? Nothing but this is a hash table. Correct, no? Hash table. Now what are these things? These are nothing but, okay, let me put it as different ink so that you'll get it easily. Yeah. Now what are these things? These are nothing but address locations. These are nothing but address location. And yeah, let me use one more key. What are these now? Oh, okay, some other link. Yeah, what are these things now? These are nothing but these are keys. These are keys. Okay, next, what is this thing now? Okay, these are records. Records. Okay, yes. So first, let us see how to fill. Okay, A I am storing in the fourth location. So I applied some function here. Okay, I applied some function. Applied some function and got the address and got the address. Okay, so A I am storing it in 4. So A I am storing it in 4. Okay, A I am storing it in 4. Yes, this is done. Next time B I am storing in 8th location. So B I am storing in 8th location. That is how from the 8th address I got B. Then C I am storing in second location. So I am storing. Then D I am storing in 11th location. Okay, then so that is how I store the D. Then E I am storing in fourth location. Yes. Now the collision. So collision occurs here. So collision occurs here. Occurs here. Correct, no? Collision occurs here. So what to do? Store E in next free location. Store E next free location. Okay, so yes, so 4 is filled, correct, no, students? So which is the next free location? Next free location is 5. So in 5 I store E. So why I store E? So that is what they are telling. So that is the E, overflow. Okay, when E comes and overflow comes. Overflow means already there is some other key. So that is called as overflow. Okay, so you put it in the next address. That is nothing but 5. Okay, yes. Now again, once again, X when you try to store, 11 is already filled by D. Again, overflow occurs. Okay, next free location. Now it is, I told you, it is circular in nature. Okay, circular in nature. So after 11, you need to go and you need to see the first location. And in first location, you store X. Okay, next Y. Okay, Y again you try to store, you got the address 5. So Y is again filled. Okay, again overflow because E is already stored there. So what you put in next address, which is the next address, you put it in sixth location. So Y you put it in the sixth location. Okay, that is how. Now already one last one, Z I need to store in first location. So first and second is already filled. Okay, so 2 times overflow happens, then Z is stored in the third location. Okay, so this is what you need to know. So here the one more concept comes, students. So I have stored all the numbers here. So what is the search length? So that is nothing but, see, I could directly store there. So search length of A is 1. Then search length of B I could directly store 1. C is also I could store 1 directly. D also I could directly store 1. Search length is 1. Now E is 4. So here E, I need, there was A was there already. So E I built in next location. So search length increases by 1, 2. X also search length is 2. Okay, because already D was there, then I had to store in the next one. So like a location 2. Y in 5. So 5 already one, E was there. So I had to go one location. Search length is 2. Z is 1. Okay, so yes, Z, when I tried to store Z, X and C were already there. So search length of Z becomes 3. Okay, so this is what are these? These are nothing but search length. Search length. Okay, so when we do the linear group search length, so that is what they store in the showing the next one. Okay, so we that is called a search length, what they are speaking here, search length. Okay, so that is what just now I was showing you. Okay, how we stored all these numbers, x, c, alphabets x, c, z, a, e, all. Okay, so in different addresses, and I already told you how the search length is also calculated in the previous slide. So how do you find the average search length? Okay, so totally there are how many alphabets or how many keys in that record? Total you have 8 keys. Okay, so that is why total average search length is nothing but you need to add all the search lengths and divide by 8. So you get 1.6. So that is the average search length. Okay, yes. So that is about the linear probing algorithm. That is about the linear probing. So next we'll understand one more algorithm, that is called as chaining. This chaining is also used. This chaining is also used to resolve the collision. So whenever a collision comes, this chaining is also used. And what is the difference between the chaining and the uh, chaining and the next one, this thing, your linear probing? So in chaining, what we do is nothing but we create linked lists. We create linked lists. Okay, we create linked lists. So let us understand the chaining, okay, in detail. Okay, so before that, what's the general thing about the chaining? Okay, general thing, that is nothing but it involves two tables in memory. It involves how many tables? Two tables. So first table T, it contains records F with the link field link. Okay, so two fields are there. Next one is the hash address table list, contains pointer to linked list in T. So what these are, we will understand when we discuss the chaining. Okay, so first in general we'll understand what is chaining. Okay, then we'll go to the problem where they are speaking about these two tables. Okay, we'll understand both. Okay, so in the next slide, let us understand what is chaining in general. So concept one, chaining. What is chaining? Used for resolving collision. Okay, so say suppose I have keys. Okay, so yes, 12, 22, 30, 26. Okay, so here what I am doing is nothing but, say 5 means I can have only 5 digit here, k mod 5 when I am doing. So that is nothing but 0 to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 4. Okay, yes. So 12 when it comes, what I do? 12 mod 5. So that is what the function, what I am doing, division method. So I get 2, correct now, 12. Okay, I get 2. 5 2s are 10. So the mod is remainder is nothing but 2. So what I do, in 2 I store the, into I store 12. Or that is how I store. Now what say address of this is 2000. What is this? This 2000 is here. It comes. Okay. Next one I find, yes, next I find 42. Correct, no? 42 mod 5. Again what happens? 5 8 is a 42 is a remainder. Yes. Now there is a catch. So what I do is nothing but, now in this situation again this 2 is already, there is a problem. Okay, 2 already there is a problem. So what I do is nothing but I need to connect this into, I need to prepend the elements here. Okay. So what I'm speaking is nothing but, just you need to remove this connection, and you need to create, say for this one 42, correct, no? So for that what you're supposed to do is nothing but you create one more here. So that is 42. Okay, and say address of this is 1000, and the 1000 is saved here. Okay, and 1000 is saved here. 1000 is saved here. Okay, and this one's address will be link field will be having pointing to 2000. So this is how it will be stored. Okay, this is how it will be stored. So in general, how to store? Okay, in general, how it will be stored? So how it will be stored? It is simply prepended. It is simply prepended. So that is how it is stored. So that means this will point to 42, and that will point to 12, and that will point to null. Okay, that is how it works. That is prepending the elements. Okay, say this address is 0,000, this address is 2000. Okay, that is link field will point to 2000. Okay, so these are the addresses. What is this address? This is the value. Okay, yes. So next one is 30. So when 30 comes, 30 mod 5. What is 30 mod 5? 0. So here I store 30. Okay, and after that I store null. Okay, that will point to null. Again, last one, that is nothing but 26 mod 5, so it is 1. Okay, it's 1. So in 1 I store, oh, I'm very sorry students, I'm very sorry, this is the address 1. Okay, this is the address 1, so it should be stored in 2. Okay, it should be stored in 2. So I'm very sorry. What we can do is we'll just erase this. What we can do is nothing but, yes, earlier what we stored in 2, correct? No, yes. So if this is 1000, it's just in 1 it was there, I made it to 2 because it is 2, no, here. That is what we need to see. So not 1000, sorry, the key, what is the key there? It is 12, correct? No, second put key will come first, that is prependent. So 42, then it is 12, then it is null. Yes. So in when 1 comes, what is there is stored there? 26. So here we store 26. And that will point to null. So this is how the chaining works. Okay, this is how the chaining works. Yes. So let us understand one problem for the chaining there. Okay. Now I have a record here. A is stored in 4, B is stored in 8, C is stored in 2, D is 11, E 4, X 11, 5. So you have seen what we did in linear probing already. Okay. Now let us see what we do in chaining. So A I stored in the location 4. So here I have two things. This is our list. Okay. This is our list. So initially in our list will be 0 students. Okay. So I can show it here for you. You can do that again. Okay, okay. We'll do it here only. Initially, everything will be 0. Initially, all will be 0. Yes. So next, what we do is nothing but, yes, here we store the numbers. Okay, A, B, C, D, E. So this is in order, students. This is in order. A, B, C, D. Okay, there is information in the record A, B, C, D, E, X, Y, Z in order. We save. Even link field is also empty. Okay, till here it is empty. Okay, and this is already given, avail is 9. So 9th store avail means what? It shows the next free location. I already showed you, I have already told you in linked list how it works. So if 9 is there, then it will show next free location. So 10, so 10 free location, next it will show next free location 11. So next free location is 12. So 12 next free location is 0. Yes, now let us see how chaining works here. Okay, so that's not the part here. So chaining works. So initially A comes with 4. So what I do is nothing but, okay, this 4, okay, which in this 4 student, I have to come to the fourth location in the list. This 0 I need to remove it. Okay, I need to remove this 0, and I need to put the A's this location there. Okay, I need to put the A's location there. So what is A's location here? 1, correct? No, so that will be 0 will be modified with 1. Okay, 1, and I need to create a new chain from this to this. So this is temporary, students. I will tell you why. 1. Okay, next what I do is nothing but, next I need to see the next element B. So B is in 8. Okay, B is in 8. So what I do is nothing but, I go to here, Okay, and where is D stored here in info part 2? So I write the 2 here, and I create a chain, and you see, you can see this chain is already created. Okay, chain is already created. Okay, 2 2. Next, C is in 2. Okay, C is in 2. So from the 2 location, that is second location list, what you are doing is nothing but C, which is there in 3. So that is how you write 3 here. That is how you write 3 here, and you do a chain. Okay, and you do a chain. Yes, already the chain is created. Next, D is 11. So 11. So what D is 11 store. So just look here. D is 11. So directly go to 11, and you need to write 4 there. You need to write 4 there. So again take a eraser. Take the 0 off. Okay. Then you need to write 4 there, and create a link to. Then you create a link. Yes, first create a link here. Okay. Then we'll see how that change happens. So 4. So 4. What is there? D is there. Okay. So just create like this. Okay, yes, now see the change starts now. Okay, now come to E. Okay, now come to E. Now E is look pointing to 4. What to do now? Okay, E is pointing to 4. Okay, at that time you need to prepend the element. So first E should come, then A should come. Okay, so how do you do like that? So in the fifth location, okay, in the I mean in the in the fourth address, okay, in the fourth address, okay, you need to see it is already pointing to the A, correct? No, now there you need to write 5. Okay, why you are writing 5 instead of 1? Because E is there in the fifth location. In the info part, E is there in the fifth location. So you have to erase this 1, and you need to write 5 there, and you need to write 5 there, and this 5, yes, you need to create a new link. Okay, you need to create a new link. Okay, so that new link is nothing but it should point to E. Okay, 5 is E, so it is coming E. Then what to do with A? It is lost. No, it is not lost. So here it was 0. Now what is the, now see, E's link is A. E's link is A. So A's address, which is nothing but 1, should be written here. So please drop this 0 here, then write 1. Yes. So now 1 is nothing but A. So first from list it is connected to E. E is connected to A. So that is all. Now A's link will be 0. A's link will be 0 because there is no more links. Next, same thing you need to do for X also. Okay. What is X? X is stored in 6. So you need to erase the 4 from here, and you need to write the 6 here. Okay. So when you erase, this link is also gone. Okay, then create a new link to X. Okay, that is nothing but new link to X you create. Then in X, where is X pointing to D? So correct, no, where is the, which is the D location? 4. So erase this 4. So erase this 0 there, and write 4, and write 4. So that's what they are showing. Okay, yes. Then similarly you all have Y and Z. So Y and Z, we don't have any collisions there. Okay, it is pointing to 5 and 1. So 5 and 1 you need to do. So which is Y? Okay, Y is the 7th location. So we are in 5, you are replacing this 0 by 7. You are replacing that 0 by 7, and you are creating a link. Same way in the Z. Okay, so Z is in the 8th location. So you from in the first list, erase that 0 off, erase that 0 off, and write 8, and write 8. Okay, and create a link, and create a link. So that is how these links are created, and 0, and all these all these numbers will be 0 only. So this is how your chaining works. Okay, this is how your chaining works. Thank you, students. That's all.